Hello, it is post video me coming in before the actual video starts because I wanted to just point out that I get kind of heated in this video, and I got really passionate, and I do apologize for kind of letting my emotions get to me on that. It hit really close to home, and so I just kind of had to let my initial thoughts flow out. But that's kind of also why I'm doing this thing that I'm doing with these Let's Talk, because I just have to get things out. Um, so yeah, again, apologies for how my my heatedness and my passion. All right, let's go. 大家好，欢迎。今天在中文我不知道说话。I don't really know what to say in Chinese today. I ain't really feeling it. Um, so plus this is meant to be like a shorter video. I just wanted to there's a pressing um issue that I wanted to talk about, because I kind of find it kind of hits close to home for me. um and it upon seeing it, it brought up such a feeling of disgust, annoyance, and a bit of anger as well. um which, I mean, I personally don't get very angry, but like I do have the capacity to feel anger, right? And so that's what this thing, this particular thing did to me when I saw it. And if you don't know, I am my background. If you don't know, just a little bit about my background is, yes, I am a black American, and I also grew up Muslim. Um, and so I grew up in Southeast Michigan. Um, most of my life I lived in Ann Arbor. Um, and so recently there was this thing that happened in Dearborn. Um, and I guess just some relatively quick background information on this is that there was a there was a right winger who went to Dearborn, Michigan, um, and staged a protest. Now I'm gonna get more into that, but I want to first bring up the fact that upon doing this right winger, he not just this right winger, but right wingers in general, they have this philosophy of, hey, let's go to this place and do something, uh, offensive. Let's do something that's going to absolutely annoy the shit out of people. And then when those people, or if those people end up reacting to what we're doing, we get to call ourselves the victims. This happens so much with right wingers. Um, Honestly, to the point where I cannot recall a time when anyone on any liberal or any leftist has ever gone out to do something and pretended to be a victim. Marginalized communities are typically um, the the victims in these cases, right? And so I don't so yeah, I can't recall any instance where a liberal or a leftist went out to protest something and then incite a reaction and then claim to be the victim. The right wing is very good at this, and in the current environment, the political environment of America, This gets a lot more play when you have, because you have the president and his administration, the president of the United States and his administration look at it, and they literally will blast it on the timeline. They hold press conferences for people who are, whining and crying about being victims of Antifa. You know what I mean? Like, Antifa is not, it's not a group. It's an idea. It's anti-fascist, right? Anti-fascism. So if you're crying about the anti-fascist, I gotta ask the question: what does that say about you, right? But anyway, so yeah, these guys, they go somewhere, they incite a reaction, they claim to be the victims. Now these guys, I would describe these guys especially as fascists, as Nazis. Um, so the main perpetrator in this is a TP USA guy, toilet paper USA guy. And he was also a participant in the January 6th riots. So he did serve prison time until Trump, gave a blanket pardon. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, um, a recently, I think like within the last few days, another January 6th rioter was arrested once again because of sexual misconduct with minors. Um, yes, you heard that correctly. He had sexually CSAM and some other stuff. This has happened to multiple January 6th rioters. They've also been arrested for aggravated assault and robbery, that kind of stuff. But anyway, so this guy called himself a political prisoner, which, you serve prison time for anything. I guess you can call yourself a political prisoner. You know, get caught selling illicit drugs, go to serve prison time. You're a political prisoner. I guess that's just how that works. Um, but also, it's like, hey, bud, you know, you serve prison time mostly because, I mean, you did the illegal thing, but also he probably most likely live streamed himself doing it, as so many people did. Live streaming yourself doing a crime is not the best way to do a crime. I'm just throwing that out there. So if you all want to do crime, just make sure you're not live streaming it. Also, probably refrain from posting a video of you doing it. Just don't do that. Do it under the low. Okay. Not that I condone that, but anyways, so this guy's name is Jake Lang, and so not only, so yes, I would describe him, especially after this stunt, as a fascist, a Nazi. He is definitely a Christian nationalist. Um, and I've said it before, Christian nationalism is the greatest threat to our country's democracy, to our country in general. It is the greatest threat. Um, and I've done a Let's Talk on Christian nationalism. Please check that out. It is long, but I promise you it has, we kind of just read and go through it together. Um, we and I wanted to talk. I talk about like the founding fathers, and like it's kind of a deep dive into it. But anyways, so yeah, so this guy Jake Lang, he and his cronies decided that they were going to bus all the way to Dearborn, Michigan. Mind you, they are not from Michigan whatsoever. They take a bus, they get there, and they decide that they are going to protest, as they put it, Islamification of America. Now, if you know anything about Dearborn, Dearborn has the highest population of Muslims in the country, and it's been this way for decades at this point, right? The people there, the vast majority of people in Dearborn are American citizens. They've been living in Dearborn for generations at this point. Their families are from Dearborn, that's where they live. They are American through and through. Now, this so called, protest against Islamification, it's like, oh, these are, invaders. Like, hey, dumbass, the vast majority of them grew up right there in Dearborn. So shut the fuck up. Like, this shit is it's so mind-blowingly stupid, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just being a fascist bigot. Like, this guy has pissed me off so much. Like, I do not condone violence. However, you guys remember back when Richard Spencer was like the prominent voice of the white nationalist Nazi movement? I added the Nazi, by the way, because Richard Spencer is a Nazi. When he was at the height of it, one particular thing happened that really like gave him limelight, that is not probably won't happen the same way at this point in America's dive into fascism. It is that Richard Spencer got punched in the face, like on live on camera. And the one thing I will say, that even though I do not condone violence, it is probably always okay to punch a Nazi. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth, because they are literal scum. Like, Nazis are scum. They abide by very scummy ideologies, right? So yeah, so this guy Jake Lang, definitely a Nazi, definitely Christian nationalist. He goes to Dearborn and he decides to have an Americans Against Islamification, claiming that the Muslims in Dearborn are somehow invaders, even though they've been there for decades. Um, Again, the vast majority of them grew up in Dearborn. So this, again, like I said before, this hits close to home because, I mean, growing up, I grew up Muslim. I still, hold on to that. Also, like, my family, I grew up with my family going to Dearborn regularly. There are amazing restaurants out there. There's one that my family loves and still frequents. Um, so to see this kind of thing happen in a city that I love, um, just really stirred up emotions in me. So I have an article, the um, Michigan newspaper. I think this one is from Ann Arbor News. Wrote an article about this. All right, so here we are. So, protests in Dearborn, anti-Islam activists clash with Muslim residents. So, um, so here it is: Americans Against Islamification, right? Dearborn, Michigan. A pair of dueling demonstrations unfolded along Schaefer Road and Michigan Avenue on Tuesday, November 18th, as anti-Islam activists and pro-Muslim counter-protesters clashed in front of a heavy police presence before moving toward Dearborn City Hall for the evening council meeting. The city, home to one of the largest Muslim populations in the United States, has recently become a repeated target for out-of-state activists who falsely claim it operates under Sharia law. That's a very good point, right? It is a false claim. I forgot to bring this up. Like, there is a huge push right now online about going after Muslim communities and claiming with no basis that they're doing Sharia law. They're just throwing it out there because it sounds scary, and it's like again they're trying to manufacture outrage so that they can then justify any kind of violent action against Muslims, but they also do this with other communities. And it's very dangerous, and they're trying so hard. Um, the tensions began when Jake Lang, a Jan 6th rioter who has described himself as a political prisoner, arrived on Michigan Avenue attempting to burn a Quran. This kind of goes into what I was saying about going um, uh, uh, doing a demonstration, a protest in order to incite a reaction out of people. So one of those things was, him and his cronies go out, they're marching the streets, and they're trying to make a spectacle out of it. They want people to know that they're there, right? So what do they do? One of the things that they do, like this article was saying, they tried to burn a Quran. Why are you going? Why are you're going somewhere where you know has a high population of Muslims? You're going there on purpose, and then um, now that you're there, you have to do something to create a hostile environment. So what do? You burn the Quran, or you attempt to burn the Quran to show that, hey, I'm doing something offensive. Look at me, here I am. Right. So then when you get that backlash in real time, you then get to say that you're a fucking victim, but you're the one going out there and doing the thing, inciting the hostile environment and the and potential violence and potential riots, which is why I believe that Jake Lang and his cronies ought to be charged for doing this, because they were trying to purposely create a very hostile environment, and so I think they should be charged with I don't know if this is the actual thing, but charged with like conspiracy to incite riots or something like that. Let's continue. Lang tried several times to ignite the book, holding it up with a lighter, but a counter protester repeatedly knocked it from his hands. Now, I do think that I bookmarked a video on Twitter about this, where he was trying to burn it and someone was stopping him from doing it. And so the on that Twitter post, they were like, oh, this Muslim person was stopping this, stopping him from burning the book. And it's like, you looking at it and it's like, well, that's clearly just a white dude, right? I'm not saying that a white person cannot be Muslim. They can be, and good for them. Like I love that. But this guy didn't. He just looked like he just looked like a guy that was there because these assholes came into his community to incite a hostile environment by doing something offensive, and this guy was trying to stop him. Like, so again, they're trying to portray themselves as victims. They're trying to portray people as Muslims as hostile, and that's just not the case. Okay. So at one point, Lang stepped into the center of Michigan Avenue and tapped the Quran with a slab of bacon before a Muslim counter protester snatched the book and ran off with it. Here's the other thing. What kind of fucking protest are you doing if you're just going there to be offensive as you can be? That is not a protest. This is not a protest, by the way. This is literally an offensive demonstration. You cannot call this a protest, because what are you protesting? You're not really protesting anything. All you're doing is going to show people that you are a bigot. That's all you are doing. You're showcasing your bigotry. That's it. Lang's group later marched towards City Hall ahead of the 7 p.m. meeting. Curtis Hurdle, chair of Michigan Democratic Party, released the following statement. Attempting to burn a religious document is an unacceptable act of hate. Yes, because if someone did this with the Bible, as they should not, and nobody should do this because it's just a stupid thing to do. Book burnings are stupid. But if someone tried to do this with the Bible, every fucking right winger would lose their shit. They would lose it, and they would say, "Who are these, like demons and devils or whatever the hell that are burning the Bible? America is going to hell," or whatever they believe, right? They would lose it. They would lose it. They would be like, this is the most offensive thing that the left could do, the most offensive thing that liberals could do, the most offensive thing that anyone who's not Christian could do. They would be livid. Hurdle said Dearborn is a beloved multicultural city with tens of thousands of people who are cherished friends, family members, and neighbors. Dearborn is such an amazing city. It's so good. I love it. Also, it has probably one of the last one of the last drive-in theaters, by the way. Love that. A Dearborn police officer told M Live there were about 7 police cars stationed nearby to help keep the situation calm. At the same time this was happening, Michigan gubernatorial candidate Anthony Hudson, who had previously organized a separate protest without affiliation to Lang, walked with supporters along the sidewalk. Hudson's and Lang's demonstrations were unrelated but appeared in the city on the same afternoon, drawing a mix of residents, activists, counter-protesters on both sides of Michigan Avenue. Hudson, a truck driver from Grand Blanc Township, had initially planned a protest to take place in Dearborn, dubbed it an American Crusade against Muslim infiltration and Sharia law. Again, it's the same shit. They're all doing the same shit. They got nothing new, and they just keep they like. How do you look at Dearborn as an American city with American citizens who just so happen to be Muslim as an infiltration and a base for Sharia law? They're not doing. No one's doing Sharia law except for the fucking Republicans right now. That's who's doing it. That's who's doing Sharia law. They love that shit, but they have to call it by their, they have to call it by their own terms. By the way, they love it. They're no different from any fundamentalists, and it's just crazy because like these are American citizens that they're talking about. These are American citizens that they're going over. They don't give a shit about American citizens. They care. They care about their own like perceived in group. And that's what fascism does. Fascism is literally this is us and those are them, and they are not part of us. They are the others, they are the outsiders. Fascism is a very small cluster and it only grows smaller and smaller and smaller. So, according to a news release from the Michigan chapter of the Council of American Islamic Relations. By the way, this is a gubernatorial candidate. What was his name? Something Hudson. Anthony Hudson. Anthony Hudson is a gubernatorial candidate. Do you really want a guy who doesn't see Michiganders as Michiganders to represent you? No, and you should not. I will be rallying so hard against this guy, just so you know. According to a news release from Michigan chapter of Council of American Islamic Relations, yet after visiting 3 mosques in the area, Hudson declared that there are many false and misleading narratives about Dearborn being spread, and that all he found from Muslims in Dearborn was hospitality. Exactly. All right. Okay. Maybe I jumped the gun there. Maybe I jumped the gun, but still, the fact that you did this kind of it elicits like this fear that at any moment so you're going to lash out against people, right? That it creates a real fear, especially in this current political environment. He further stated that he was opposed to outsiders coming to Dearborn with plans to burn the Quran. Okay, as you should, by the way. I just want to know, it's like, why didn't he do his homework before this? You just dubbed your protest as the American Crusade against Muslim. Like, that's crazy. That's so crazy. As a result, Lang spray painted the word "cuck" on what appeared to be Hudson's campaign bus in Dearborn, accusing the Republican candidate of selling out for visiting mosques and expressing sympathy toward Muslims. Hudson later denied the bus belonged to him. So this guy just possibly sprayed "cuck" on some random bus. That's crazy. Also, the fact that he got angry that somebody would go and actually learn. That's insane. I apologize for jumping the gun on that, but again, that's not a good look if you're running for governor. It's not a good look. Just saying. One Hudson supporter, Kelly Elias, says she drove several hours from northern Michigan because she wanted to see the situation firsthand. I just wanted to come out and see what the mainstream media is reporting. If they're lying to us, if the mainstream media is reporting if they are lying to us. I'm Arabic too. I'm from the God of love. I don't want to hurt anybody. If we're in danger or if there's any problem, I want to know. But if not, let's be peaceful with each other and solve this problem. We need to work together and be just. Love each other. We don't need any problems. Anybody with hate. That just broke my brain. What does she mean? She's Arabic too. I'm not trying to spread hate to this person, by the way. But what does that mean? You know what I mean? Also, it's like you I just kind of do your homework and talk to people instead of believing every little thing that the far right is saying, because they live their lives based on an alternate reality that they have created in their minds, and it's following their commentary and their beliefs. It takes you away from reality, but also takes you away from building relationships with people, and it takes you away from the relationships that you have. And it's very isolating. And I have to urge people not to do this. Don't do this. Go out, go touch grass, go talk to people, because you will find more things in common than you will find things that differ. Okay, so Elias described herself as culturally mixed, Lebanese, Syrian, Italian. She said, I'm a mix. She said she has long viewed Dearborn positively. I've always thought it was a wonderful area. I've had friends here. I worked in Detroit. I lived in Detroit, Elias said. On the other side of the street, Muslim and pro Palestinian counter protesters rallied in response to Lang's actions and the broader anti Islam messaging. Dearborn resident Kirar Haidar, sorry, I don't know why I butchered that, explained why he attended the protest. To show the American people that we are a religion of peace and we can coexist as the Abrahamic religions have coexisted in previous times. For so long, by the way. Haidar said, some people are a little bit more extreme in their ideology, but we are here to show them that we also have a voice and this is our country too. Everybody comes from some sort of immigration, and we're happy to be here. We all pay our taxes, we go to work, and we try to provide for our families. That goes again to what I was saying. You're going to find more things in common than things that differ. Haidar also addressed claims that Dearborn is governed by Sharia law. That's just bullshit, by the way. Yeah, they really do believe Sharia law is the jurisdiction here in Dearborn. When you walk in, you see a monument in regard of Maryam and Prophet Muhammad. Sorry, Prophet Jesus. Sorry. Oh, sorry. If they really do believe Sharia is the jurisdiction here in Dearborn, when you walk in, you see a monument in regards of Maryam and Prophet Jesus. He said. He said protesters coming to Dearborn misunderstand the community. I think they lost their core beliefs with Christianity. Haidar said, I feel like there's a form of Christianity that exists in this country that is more towards spreading hate, Christian nationalism. Because if you go towards Ford Road, you'll see a mosque and two churches side by side standing strong in solidarity. So I don't know what their ideology is. I think it's more of a political extremist view rather than a religious one. He is correct on this. It is, without a doubt, Christian nationalism. And with Christian nationalism comes fascism. Becomes a white nationalist movement. That's what it is at its core. And that's why I say it is the most dangerous thing to our society right now, Christian nationalism. As both sides continue chanting and walking towards City Hall, police kept a perimeter on the sidewalks along Michigan Avenue, intervening briefly with tensions escalated over Lang's attempted Quran burning. One person was seen arrested at Dearborn City Hall. No injuries were immediately reported. Now, again, I will say that this guy got punched, and it honestly very well deserved. I have the videos here. This is our self-described political prisoner, by the way.
Guys, we're live in Dearborn, Michigan for the March Against Islamification. We will not let our country fall and become like London. We will stand strong against the...
Guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it playbacks auto like this. Like I don't need 1080p.
Guys, we're live in Dearborn, Michigan for the March Against Islamification.
By the way, I just want to note that this sign, Muhammad was a pedophile, is one of the most bullshit arguments that Islamophobes will pull out. Like, I can't. It's kind of like a brain dead take. It's like, yeah, bud. I mean, so were the founding fathers, I guess. I mean, it's not even it's just it's a brain dead thing to say because they have no argument, right? I am not like I'm not really I don't really practice that much. I don't know a lot, like, but like these guys, they gotta, I don't know, do more research.
We will not let our country fall and become
And
like
he's
London.
holding that.
We will stand strong.
Mind you, he's holding that, feeling like this. He is so proud about using this argument. It's fucking stupid.
Against these Islam.
By the way, again, oh, not even one the Trump's former spiritual advisor. Trump's former spiritual advisor was recently arrested on I can't remember exactly what it was. Was it statutory rape or was it CSAM? It was one of those things. Just so we're clear, by the way. All right, continuing on. Maybe.
Invaders, these jihadis will have to go. Christians in America, you need to stand up before you.
These jihadis. These are fucking Americans, dude. What the hell are you talking about? This guy, again, he really should have spent more time in prison. I'm just gonna say it.
Your daughters are raped in the streets like the animals that they think we are. They call it.
By the way, Trump is possibly a diddler. By the way, just so we're clear. That's where we are.
They hate us and they want to destroy white people and Christian America.
That right there is pure white nationalism, pure Christian nationalism, and pure fascist ideology. It is us and it is them, and they are coming to destroy us. It is the othering. That's fascist ideology. Just be clear.
We will not allow it to happen. Dearborn, Michigan, 3 p.m. today. Schaefer Road and Michigan Avenue. A peaceful march, standing strong.
This was never meant to be a peaceful march. He literally was trying to burn the Quran. He was smacking it with bacon. He was trying to be offensive as he possibly could. He doesn't live in the state. He came from out of state to do this. This is not a peaceful protest. Here we go again. Oh, this is it. This is it, guys. This is it. This is him getting punched. I'm gonna show this real quick. Again, I don't condone violence, but Nazis gotta know. Ooh, Nazis gotta know. Look at that sucker. Bam! Nazis gotta know. Boom! Nazis gotta know, guys. I'm just saying. Make them scared to be Nazis again. I haven't seen this one.
Why do you hope that? You hope he gets killed because you don't like him? What? That's yeah. You hope he gets killed because you don't like him? Yeah. Is that what Muslims believe? Oh, well, you're a Muslim, right? And you believe it. Why? Do you think maybe it's a value problem? It seems that way. You're not representing.
So here, I can't even hear what this guy is saying, right? But if I'm led to believe that that's what he actually wants, tell me, tell me why you are there in the first place, if not to incite this kind of rhetoric. This is what I'm talking about when I say the incitement to create a hostile environment in which to call yourself the victim. This is what they do. So if I was to say to anyone who's out there counter protesting, don't give them what they want, because they're using that as fuel. If you saw the roundtable that the Trump administration had with the so-called journalists covering Antifa, they were just claiming to be victims of Antifa, right? And the Trump administration went and they said, okay, Antifa is now a terrorist organization, domestic terrorist organization at that point, right? Which can't really do. There's no basis for that, especially because it's not a group. Recently, more recently, they went and they looked at anti-fascist movements in some other countries like France and Greece. It was one more, and now they said, okay, well now Antifa is actually a foreign terrorist organization, giving them a bit more leeway to crack down on anti-fascist ideology. I guess we haven't seen what's going to do yet, but the implication is that they will push for state violence against anti-fascists. So this I know this one is them. They get together and they pray outside. They're praying outside and they're surrounded by Muslims. Again, this is them doing. You can't even hear them. Okay. But again, this is them pretending to be victims. They went there. They went to go seek this out, and that cannot be stressed enough. So when you see right wingers do this, don't give them what they want. If you want to call them losers, fine. If you want to tell them to go home, fine. But be very careful with your actions, because this is what they're trying to do.
Their H-1B chain
So
President Trump, send ICE. Send ICE into Dearborn. These people have overstayed their visas. Their H-1B chain migration in.
I'm just saying right now, fuck ICE, okay? This motherfucker went into a community that he does not live in. He has no part in this community, and he is telling he's calling for the president of the United States to sanction state violence against a community that is just living their lives. How sick can this man be? How sick? How sickening. This shit is so messed up and it's so infuriating. That's why you have so many people in Chicago, in Charlotte, North Carolina now, in LA, all across the country. People are resisting the state violence that is being done in their communities. They don't like it, and there should be pushback. Always push back. Make those little piggies be scared to come into your community. That's what I have to say to that. I don't even want to watch any more of that. That is incredibly sickening. Incredibly sickening. I'm skipping over that because again, it's just him being playing a victim. What is this one? J6 or Jake Lang, surrounded by Muslims, telling them they are chimping out. Muslims surrounded, chimping out. Muslims surround and chant Allahu Akbar. Absolute chaos in Dearborn as Muslims. There's one in particular that I really wanted to show. This is great. Typical cowardly jihadi behavior. Spitting on a peaceful Christian protester in Dearborn, Michigan. Peaceful protester, my ass. My ass. This man came to incite violence. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. So yeah, it's just something that really rubbed me the wrong way, and so I really wanted to talk about it briefly. Yeah, I can't express enough just how dangerous this current ideology is, and it's not going to stop. It was never going to stop at undocumented immigrants. It's gonna spread to they've been arresting Americans, and it's just gonna keep going. And this administration is taking their notes from all the racists and Nazis on Twitter, and so they're making it very unsafe to have dissenting opinions, and we have to really push back, make them uncomfortable, make them feel pressure, and we got to keep fighting, guys. So yeah, until next time, everybody. See ya. All right, hello, hi, post me again. Post video me again. I learned more information after recording this video about this Jake Lang guy. Um, so what I learned is that he is a Christian nationalist LARPer. He yeah, he's not I mean, maybe he did convert, I don't really know, but apparently he's a Jewish man walking around calling himself a white Christian man at this point. So it kind of goes into this whole grift thing that happens on the right. They will call themselves whatever they have to, they will say whatever they have to in order to garner attention, um to then make money. And it's actually it is, I would call it an epidemic of right wing grifting on the internet. It's an oversaturated market and everyone's trying to get theirs, and it's a problem. um Now, I got too heated to watch the entire speech that this Jake Lang guy gave at the Dearborn City Hall. Obviously, I heard some of it and it was very disgusting, so I just couldn't. Um, but he in I went back and I saw more of it, and in it he fell into this trope that aligns with fascists, and the fact that he created a mythos about the culture of the in group, right? um and he was talking about how Christians have, built civilization. Christians built the Roman Colosseum, that type of shit. I'm like, dude, Christians did not build the Roman Colosseum. Like, there might have been a few as part of that project, but I I guess he doesn't know that Christianity at that point was still persecuted in Rome, in the Roman Empire. So yeah, we're just gotta nix that right now, right? The other part of that the fascist ideology is the outgroup. So in this case, for him, the outgroup was the Muslim citizens of Dearborn, and he was telling them to go back to their country. And it's like, brother, like, they were born in America. What the hell are you talking about? So yeah. I just want to emphasize this: Christian nationality is the greatest threat to this country currently as it stands. Now, the other thing I just wanted to mention was I I did mention him getting punched in the face. Um, while I was heated when I was talking about this, again, I don't condone violence, but I also don't care when Nazis get punched. I just don't. Um, so yeah, just wanted to put these thoughts out there as well when I was less heated. So thank you so much, guys. Peace.